Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome to the Mystic Visionary Podcast. This is Zia, your host, and I'm here to pick a word for the week. If you don't know what that's about, check in the show notes. There's a link, or go back to episode 1 and listen. All right, I'm getting in my little box, and I'm going to search around for the right word for today to talk about what that word means in the new paradigm. I'm going to go meditate on that word and then come back and give you my ideas about what that means. All right, here's our word. Balance. Balance. That's a good one. All right, balance is our word for the week. I'm going to go meditate on that and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Boy, that took me to a place I didn't expect when I meditated on balance. Somehow I thought it was going to be a more simple meditation, but it went to an interesting place. First of all, the idea of balance in the new paradigm, what I got was this idea of understanding Newtonian physics versus quantum physics. And I know that seems like a big thing, but I'm going to give you the layperson's vision of what that means. First of all, we live in a world right now where the old paradigm, where we identify in the physical. We see our world and our five senses as the main reality. We're in quantum physics, in the new paradigm, and has a different belief. It's like we are energy beings having a human physical experience based on our vibration and frequency. Where Newtonian physics is about matter, which is identifying matter and focusing on matter, quantum physics is about energy and waves and frequency. So the other thing that's a part of this is called the observer effect. They've determined in Newtonian physics that if you are observing, when the person is observing, then whatever they're observing becomes the physical reality, the matter. Where in quantum physics, it is about the other part that's unseen, the empty space. And when you focus on the empty space, then the observer effect takes place and brings whatever that is from the empty space into physical form. So it's sort of like manifesting. And I think that is the key to this whole balance idea that I got when I meditated. First of all, we have to recognize that the reality that we see in this new or the old paradigm is one of a construct that we have identified with. You know, like Einstein says, his quote about reality is an illusion, although it's a persistent one. That is our old paradigm. It is an illusion, but it's a very persistent illusion. So it seems like reality to us. Where in the new paradigm, we understand that we are multidimensional energy beings, that we are attracting to us things through vibration and frequency. So if we go into that idea of quantum physics, into that big empty field of unlimited potential, whatever we put our attention on, we bring that into manifested reality. So it's a completely different way of looking at things. So if we want to live in this three-dimensional physical reality as an energy being, we have to find balance in that. But first of all, we have to identify as an energy being having a human experience or temporary human experience. And I think that that's the crux of this whole thing. It's like changing your identity to a completely new identity of this multi-dimensional energy being. that has layers and layers of its being. And like I've talked about before, in the book, The Energy Codes, Dr. Mortar talks about that we are the final, in the physical form, we are at the final end of the coalesced energy field. So our physical form has come from layers and layers and layers of energy that, as it goes away from our body, becomes lighter and lighter and more invisible. But as we gather that energy together, it coalesces into form. Well, we have become that coalesced form. That doesn't mean that all those fields of energy that created us into form have disappeared. They are still there. We are still that. We are this, the end of the spiritual realm of manifestation in our physical form. But we still are that spiritual, multidimensional, energetic being. And I think that that's what the new paradigm is asking us to be, is to identify as that, to understand the power that we have in that ability to be these co-creators, these magnificent manifestors by what we put our attention on. And that means what our frequency and our vibration is attracting. That's the bigger picture of being an energy being, and not just focusing on the physical. But the crux of the problem is we have coalesced into form. We are having a physical experience. We are in this physical 3D reality of Earth. And we are here to experience that, to enjoy our senses and to enjoy the beauty of this planet and of what it's like to be a human, and the emotions and all the beautiful, wonderful experiences of the human form. But we have to find a balance in that realm. We have to understand we can't just be one or the other. We are this multi-dimensional energy being having a human experience, finding balance in that, all the while still identifying as what you are in the new paradigm and enjoying what is here for you to enjoy. That's the balance. Right now, I'm in the middle of writing a new book about what it's like to be an energy being on this human 3D planet and how to function in that way. And it's been really interesting. That's probably why this balance issue came up when I was meditating, because that's what I've been putting my attention on. But it's still very pertinent. The idea that first and foremost, we have to shift our identity. And we can't just become this like woo-woo, I'm an energy being and I'm filled with light and I have all these etheric layers and I'm like almost angelic. And that is just this lovely idea that we are those things, but we still are living on this planet as a human. We're having our human experience. Well, to contrast that, we have been living up until now as entirely the physical experience. What we see, what we can touch, taste, smell, what we can experience, what we, if we can see it, it's real. If we can't see it, it's not real. We are so limited in our perceptions as our 3D selves that we have not given ourselves the opportunity to experience the vastness of our being, the abilities, the qualities, the parts of us that are yet to express, and that expression needs to be elevated. And in order to do that, we have to jump out of this identification with form and this identification of I'm a human being having a human experience on the physical planet, and only see ourselves in that way. So we have to jump out and start this, hold on to this new identity as an energy being, an energy light being, and that all that represents to us. And it's so much more about the unseen than the seen. So switching back from that physical everything is only real if you see it, to this new paradigm where the unlimited potential and possibilities of the unseen that you can manifest into the seen through your creative, co-creative abilities. It's like a whole new paradigm. Yeah, a whole new paradigm. So in order to first and foremost identify yourself as that in the new paradigm, as this energy being, and then realizing that you are here to enjoy your life on the physical plane. And that's part of like incarnation. You incarnated here to have this life experience. Do you want to get caught up in just the physical day-to-day experience, or do you want to connect with that higher aspect of yourself and then balance it with this earthly experience? And I think that that's what balance is in the new paradigm. It's like learning to navigate in a healthy way that serves you to live your highest potential and your best life on this planet. And it starts with recognizing that you are more than just the physical and finding balance. So I think that for me, as I'm working on this book, thinking about how this plays out, I think all of us have to really acknowledge the fact that we're more than just the physical. And sometimes that's hard, like Einstein's quote. Reality is an illusion, but it's a persistent illusion. We see our life, we see where we live, we see where the car we drive, we see our bank account, we see, all the things that our home, our job, all the things that we do every day that look so solid, that look so real, that we think this is our reality. Well, in truth, it is your reality. It's a reality that you've created through being a vibrational match. Because that's the other part of this. Whether you believe in this new paradigm of being an energy being of light and frequency and vibration, or you don't, it's still happening. Everything in your world that you call reality is your reality because that's the vibration and frequency that you are vibrating at. You create your own reality. The difference in the new paradigm is understanding that you are co-creating your reality, that you have these powers and this enormous divine experience of being an energy being, that you can change your reality. That's the whole idea of being multidimensional, that there are so many more dimensions to our life than what we allow ourselves to see. And the other part about it, the dimensions or realities, is that we change those all the time. By every decision we make changes our reality. Like we made our decision to leave Arizona and come to Oregon. Well, now we have a whole new reality in Oregon. Are we the same people? I don't know. I really don't think we are, because we shifted our realities. Every time you do something different that you haven't done before, you're changing your reality. And I think that we need to understand that first and foremost, that our reality is only a projection of our vibration and frequency. And once we go there and we recognize that we are quantum beings who can go into that field and connect with whatever frequency and energy that we want to connect with, and then it will manifest in our reality, we have to then balance that. And I think that is the key aspect here of honoring both sides, both paradigms, because we are here on the physical plane and we want to enjoy that to the most of our ability, or to the best of our ability. And we want to evolve as much as we can evolve. That's what we're here to do. It's that whole idea of expansion, the expansion theory, like the Big Bang theory. It's like the explosion, and then it just continues to evolve and grow and expand. You are an expansion of that. You are unfolding from the moment you're born to the moment you pass into the next realm. You're an expanding being. And don't let yourself be kept small when you want to get bigger. It's like the other quote from Wayne Dyer. He's like, don't die with your music still in you. It's like, don't end this life experience with a song yet to be sung. You have a life that wants to be lived. And for most of us, we get hung up and caught up in the physical 3D illusion, and not allow ourselves the expansiveness of our nature into the bigger picture of the quantum. And that's where I think we have to start. We have to start with this whole thing. And I think it's that balance between recognition and identity. Like, I see myself as an energy being having a temporary human experience. And then I'm going to balance that with the physical experience. And I don't have to limit myself. I think that that's the part that's happened. It's like we have limited ourselves in the physical. And that's the big difference. So that isn't balance at all. So if you limit yourself in your physical experience by thinking that there are things you can't have or can't do or can't be, then you have created an imbalance, because the truth of who you are is much greater. So if you bring in those beliefs of understanding that you can create your own reality, and that if you want to be something, or if you want to have the experience of something, you can draw it to you, and then you can enjoy it on this physical plane. And you find that balance in that, like owning yourself as this energy being of light, having a temporary experience with the actual physical experience, so that you're living in some kind of harmony within yourself and utilizing this temporary physical experience on earth to the highest, to the best of your ability, to get the most out of it. Larry and I have noticed, and I think I've talked about it before, how many like gray people there are. And not gray as in old people, but gray as in people who are kind of living life in black and white. They're not living in full technicolor. And I think that's the difference, that is the imbalance of the old paradigm versus the new paradigm. The old paradigm is like the black and white and kind of gray people version, where the new paradigm is the technicolor. And we need to like bring that technicolor into the 3D world and bring some balance. So I think that's with a call to everyone. And again, I'm going to go back to how do you find that? How do you determine that? First of all, you have to open yourself up to the possibility that you're way more than your physical. Like Einstein says, reality is an illusion. It's an illusion that you've created. Now you can create something new. Then you have to realize that you have this pure potentiality of this unlimited self that you can be. And you have to like begin to understand and identify with that. And then you have to let go of a bunch of other stuff that you thought you knew was truth. And I think that that's the hardest part, because sometimes things just feel so true because it's constantly in your face. It's that, that reality that's keeps hitting you, and you're like, how can this be a reality, or how can this be an illusion when it feels like reality to me? Well, it is. It's an illusion, and you have to like bust through that. Everything is a projection or an outpouring or a reflection of your own inner thinking and your own reality that you created through your vibration and your frequency. So I know that sounds kind of complex and confusing, but it really is simple in a way. It's like you have to step outside the limited belief system into this bigger idea of who you are. And then you can go back into the limited version and take what you want and make it as beautiful as you want it to be. It's like, yes, it's a temporary human experience, but why not live it in Technicolor to the fullest extent of what happiness looks like? It doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are or anything about how poor or rich or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can change it immediately by changing your thoughts. And then what you need to do is bring that all in balance. Balance that old paradigm with the new paradigm. Not even really balancing it. It's like bringing the new paradigm into the physical reality and having your life be filled with the joy that lights you up. And again, going back to my heart archetype quiz, if you haven't taken that, it's like digging into your own heart and finding out what does light you up. That's the quickest way to break free out of this old paradigm of reality based on what you can see. You have to get out of the seen and into the unseen, and the best place to find that is in your own heart. To close your eyes and go inside and listen to your heart. What is your heart wanting to tell you that it desires? It's like it's built in with us. We came here, we came to this planet with that inside of us, with that our heart desires that are unique to each one of us. But if you don't listen and you don't pay attention, then you're just going to be over there living in the gray world, the black and white world. You want to bust out of that and find out, what does Technicolor look like for you? And then once you start bringing that into your life, then your whole physical reality shifts and it changes. And you become one of the Technicolor people and you're living your life and knowing that this is just an illusion that you have created, and you have found a way, you found the key to find the balance in living this energy being in a human experience to the fullest. It's a game, and you can play the game. We can all play the game. It just takes a willingness to break out of that old paradigm and connect with this truth of who you are, this unlimited energy being of light, and go into your heart and find out what it is that lights you up, what sparks you, and then go after that and start connecting with that. And the more you connect with that, the more your energy is going to go out into the field, into that quantum, and connect with things that are like that. And then all of a sudden you're going to have synchronicities, and you're going to meet people, and you're going to have things come to you that you are unexpected, and all of a sudden your life is going to start flowing in this new way, and you're going to find this really wonderful balance of using your ultimate resource of being this energy being of light and frequency and bringing it down into the physical reality of this planet and living the life that you really desire. It sounds complicated, but it's really not that hard. You just have to get in touch with the inside and open your mind to new possibilities. See yourself beyond your limited 3D self. That's what the new paradigm is about, and finding that balance. All right, I think that's enough for that one. You might have to listen to it twice. All right, have a great week, and I'll be back next week with a new word. If you want to learn more about the 5 guiding principles of the new paradigm, you can listen to my audiobook, which is The Pocket Guide to the New Paradigm, which is a free audiobook on YouTube. I'll link it below. And the other thing that I have available is the Heart Archetype Quiz. It's a short quiz that answers the question, am I listening to the call of my heart? And you take the quiz and you'll discover what might be blocking you from living the call of your heart. And I think that's what we're all being called to do right now, is to look inside, connect with our heart and follow its guidance.